MKN announced further SOP relaxation for eateries. MOH to screen COVID-19 using saliva sample soon. Hello and good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're watching News at 10 with me, Muhammad Amin Carlos. Well, beginning tomorrow, more than 2 persons will be allowed to sit at a table in eateries and restaurants depending on the size of the table. However, Senior Minister for Security, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, reminded the public that they are still subjected to the 1 meter physical distance SOP.
Mesyuarat bersetuju mulai besok semua kawasan sama ada PKP, PKPB dan PKPP dibenarkan untuk dine-in dengan makan kebenaran untuk makan di meja makan berdasarkan keluasan meja dan juga asalkan ada penjarakan 1 meter.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also announced that the government has decided to allow more than 2 people to travel in a vehicle depending on the vehicle's passenger capacity.
Mesyuarat teknikal dan kita mengambil pandangan daripada rayuan supaya dibenarkan untuk penumpang juga sama dengan di PKP, sama dengan PKPB dan PKPP. Maka mesyuarat teknikal hari ini bersetuju untuk meluluskan ataupun membenarkan rayuan tersebut, iaitu di PKP pun jumlah penumpang adalah sama dengan PKPB dan PKPP, iaitu berdasarkan kapasiti penumpang ataupun jumlah tempat duduk di kenderaan tersebut.
In another development, the senior minister said the solemnization ceremony in areas under MCO can be held at religious authorities, offices and mosques with only 20 persons, excluding the marriage officials, and witnesses would be allowed to attend it. However, he explained that the solemnization ceremony is under the jurisdiction of state religious officers and couples must first obtain their permission. Well, Malaysia finds the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine more attractive as recipients need to take only 1 dose. And Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba said the Johnson & Johnson vaccine uses a 1-dose method and thus makes it very attractive to use. Commenting further on this vaccine, Datuk Seri Dr. Adham said the government had not yet determined the number of doses to be obtained from Johnson & Johnson.
Untuk kita setakat ini, kita belum dapat lagi term sheet ataupun ini binding agreement untuk menggunakan Johnson, tapi perundingan telah dibuat.
On Wednesday, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation Khairi Jamaluddin had announced that the government will sign a COVID-19 vaccine procurement contract with Johnson & Johnson from the United States soon. He said that so far the clinical information on this vaccine has been positive, and based on the recommendation of the COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee Special Committee, JKJAV, the Cabinet decided to purchase the vaccine. Datuk Seri Dr. Adham and Khairi are the co-chairman of the JKJAV. Well, meanwhile, the Health Ministry will soon be conducting COVID-19 tests using deep throat saliva samples at several government hospitals in the country. Well, according to Datuk Seri Dr. Adham, this sampling method is safe and non-invasive compared to the usual swab test method through the nose and mouth. Explaining further, he said the use of saliva samples for the COVID-19 test has been conducted in several countries and has proven to be cheaper and one of the most consistent sample collection methods.
Institut Penyelidikan Perubatan ataupun Institute for Medical Research IMR telah menjalankan penilaian bagi kaedah persempelan menggunakan air liur ini dan ianya sesuai bagi ujian real time reverse transcriptase PCR ataupun RT-PCR COVID-19. IMR sedang juga melengkapkan kajian penggunaan sampel alio untuk ujian RTK antigen.
Speaking after receiving 2.7 million low dead volume syringes worth more than 890,000 ringgit from Etika family Takaful Berhad, he also said the sampling method using saliva is self-collected and is expected to save on the use of personal protective equipment, PPE. He explained that the patients will only need to remove their own saliva into a specimen cup, which will then be sent to the laboratory for testing. Well, the number of active COVID-19 infections in the country dropped below the 40,000 mark, with 38,763 patients currently being monitored by the Health Ministry. Well, this is following the 5,320 recoveries made in the last 24 hours, exceeding the 2,712 new cases reported today. Well, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah in a statement said 235,082 patients have recovered and discharged from hospitals since the pandemic hit the country last year. This translates to an 85.5% recovery rate. As for the new infections, the Health DG said Selangor continues to register the highest number of daily cases at 1,013, with the majority of the cases were contributed by the existing clusters and close contact screenings conducted by the ministry. Well, it said there are currently 227 patients being treated at the ICU, with 103 of them requiring ventilator support. Now, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham also disclosed the highest number of daily COVID-19 related deaths after 25 fatalities were reported today. With this, the death toll rose to 1,030. Meanwhile, the Health Minister identified 17 new clusters while declaring the end of 10 others. This brings the number of active clusters in the country to 506. The special meeting of the Muzakara Committee of the National Council on Islamic Religious Affairs has decided on the edict and guidelines of the COVID-19 vaccine intake during the month of Ramadan for Muslims. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, said the official statement regarding the matter will only be published after it has obtained the consent from the Conference of Rulers.
Secara umumnya hukumnya hampir sama lah. Dan kenyataan rasmi akan dikemukakan selepas daripada kita mengangkat kepada majlis raja-raja lah, insya-Allah, sekadar untuk pemakluman kepada mereka, insya-Allah. Tapi perkara itu semua kita telah cover dan kita telah bincang. Cuma dari segi tertibnya kita akan angkat dahulu, insya-Allah.
Speaking after presenting the donations of Jawi Food Bank to 300 taxi drivers in Sabang, Selangor, he stressed that the vaccine intake for the purpose of protecting oneself from dangerous diseases is permissible under Islam and it is considered a necessity. Well, the COVID-19 vaccination consent form that recently went viral on social media is not the finalized and approved document by the government. And Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, in confirming the matter, said that the formal agreement will be distributed to the vaccine recipients in the near future, beginning with those who are involved in the first phase of national immunization program. Now, in a statement, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said the agreement form is for the recipients to state their consent in receiving the vaccine shots, especially since the vaccination is voluntary in this country. He explained that the consent form has also been used in other countries currently conducting their COVID-19 immunization programs. He said individuals that wish to receive the vaccine jabs must sign the respective form to ensure that they fully understand about the benefits and risks of vaccination. Well, with that, the Health DG reminded all members of the public not to spread fake or misleading information which can cause anxiety among the people. He also explained that the vaccines that will be used in Malaysia will be evaluated in terms of their quality, effectiveness and safety by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA. Malaysia will begin the national COVID-19 immunization program on 26 February with a target to inoculate at least 80% of the population through 3 phases. up, Proton unveils 4 new special edition models to satisfy customers' demand. The removal of criteria for the Employee Provident Fund or EPF SAHIH facility to enable its members to withdraw their savings from the first account would take some time as it interferes with the existing EPF system. Well, Finance Minister Tengku Dato Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz in the 41st Laksana report said the government had discussed with EPF to ensure a more convenient process to approve depositors' applications. Tengku Dato Sri Zafrul also said the members' dividend for the 2020 fiscal year will be announced by the end of this month. The process to credit the profit will also require some time, and any transactions, including SAHIH applications, will be frozen for a while. While the government has also decided to extend the date for any new applications and updates on the Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat BPR until 25th February to ensure the financial assistance reaches its target groups. Proton Holdings Berhad launched 4 special edition models virtually through its Facebook official page today. Well, Proton ADAR Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah said these models will launch to offer varieties to consumers. The 4 special edition models launched are Proton Persona and Exora Black Edition, as well as Iris and Saga R3 Limited Edition. In line with the sales tax exemption under the National Economic Recovery Plan Penjana scheme, Proton will be offering special on-the-road prices for its SE models until 30th June. The Proton Persona Black Edition is priced at 55,600 ringgit, Proton Exora Black 69,800 ringgit, Saga and Iris R3 model priced at 44,800 ringgit and 53,700 ringgit respectively.
Gentlemen, we at Proton build cars for everyone. We have always listened to our customers, and we do our best to give back to our customers. Our special edition models are specially designed to add an additional layer of style to our current models.
People are welcome to visit Proton's exhibition rooms nationwide. Reservations for these models have begun and can be made through Proton authorized dealers.
For the front and rear lower bumper guard.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court has ordered Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor to enter her defence on all 3 corruption charges relating to the 1.25 billion ringgit solar hybrid project for rural schools in Sarawak. The ruling was made after Judge Muhammad Zaini Mazlan finding that the prosecution had made out a prima facie case against the wife of former Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak. Well, according to Judge Muhammad Zaini, the prosecution had produced credible evidence to prove the elements under the charges, which, if unrebutted or unexplained, would warrant a conviction. Datin Sri Rosmah has 3 options after being ordered to enter her defence: either to keep quiet and not answer the charges, give an unsworn statement from the dock without being cross-examined by the prosecution, or testify under oath on the witness stand with the prosecution given the opportunity to question her during cross-examination. She, however, chose to testify under oath from the witness stand. She is facing 1 charge of soliciting 187.5 million ringgit and 2 counts of receiving bribes totaling 6.5 million ringgit from JPAC Holdings' former managing director, Saidi Abang Samsudin, as a reward for helping the company obtain the project to provide solar energy to 369 rural schools in Sarawak between January 2016 and September 2017. Well, the charges framed under Section 16, Subsection A, Subsection A of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Act provide for imprisonment of up to 20 years and a fine of not less than 5 times the amount of the gratification or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, upon conviction. Well, police have rearrested the Sugar Book founder over a rape and prostitution case in Subang Jaya. Well, Selangor CID Chief SAC Dato Fadzil Ahmad said the suspect was rearrested over the case involving a student at an Institute of Higher Learning, which occurred on 19th February 2019. Well, meanwhile, Dato Fadil also said the prosecution has applied for a revision of the magistrate's court's decision to reject the remand application against the suspect. The application for revision will be heard in front of a High Court judge at the Shah Alam Court at around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Well, this comes after the remand application was rejected this morning. Earlier today, Deputy Inspector General of Police Dato Sri Akril Sani Abdullah Sani said police did not obtain a remand order on the suspect. He added, however, that police would investigate the matter further. To date, police have received 74 police reports nationwide in connection with the case. Well, a team comprising Selangor and Shah Alam CID personnel suspected, or rather arrested the suspect at a condominium in Mont Kiara yesterday. On Monday, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, blocked access to the Sugarbook website for allegedly breaching the law on the use of network facilities or network services. However, it was learned that the Sugarbook developer has set up an alternative site to enable its users to access the blocked web page. Well, a sales promoter who was acquitted and discharged for reckless driving, which resulted in the death of 8 teenage boys 4 years ago, was today ordered by the Johor Bahru High Court to enter her defence. Judge Dr. Shahnaz Sulaiman made the decision after finding that the prosecution had made a prima facie case against Sam Kerting, 36, thus setting aside the magistrate's court's decision to acquit and discharge the accused on 28 October 2019. Well, Sam, who was then at the wheel of a car, was charged for reckless driving, causing the death of 8 teenage cyclists at the Middle Ring Road at 3:20 a.m. on 18 February 2017. She was charged with causing the death of Muhammad Azri Danish Zulkifli, 14, Muhammad Shahrul Izwan Azuraimi, 14, Muhammad Firdaus Danish Muhammad Azhar, 16, Muhammad Halmijan, 13, Muhammad Azhar Amir, 16, Muhammad Harith Iskandar Abdullah, 14, Muhammad Shahrul Nizam Marudin, 14, and Haizat Kasrin, 16. The charge was framed under Section 41, subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987, which provides for a jail term of up to 10 years and a fine not exceeding 20,000 ringgit upon conviction. The accused was allowed bail of 10,000 ringgit in one surety. The court also ordered Sam to surrender her driving license and passport and fixed 3 days starting 9th May for the trial. And still in Johor, an unemployed man pleaded not guilty at the Kluang Magistrates Court today for the charge of driving under the influence of alcohol and causing the death of a police personnel last Friday. The accused, T. Yogaraja, 58, made the plea before Magistrate Arun Navaldas. And according to the charge sheet, Yogaraja was heading in the direction of Simpang Renggam before entering the motorcycle lane and crashed into the motorcycle ridden by Lance Corporal Bradford Bernard, who was heading towards the opposite direction. The accused was charged under Section 44, subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987, which carries a fine between 50,000 ringgit and 100,000 ringgit and prison term of not more than 15 years. The court also ordered to suspend the driving license of the accused until the end of the trial. The court then set 22nd March for case remention. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, rescued 7 crew members from a yacht that caught fire while anchored about 0.6 nautical miles northeast of Pulau Singa Kecil, Langkawi this morning. And Kedah Perlis MMEA Director, Maritime First Admiral Muhammad Zawawi Abdullah said the fire was detected by a patrol vessel, KM or Kapal Maritim Tenggol, which then channeled the information to the Langkawi Maritime Rescue Subcenter, or MRSC, at about 8:18 a.m. today, when it said the 7 crewmen were successfully transferred to KM Tenggol and they are safe and unhurt. According to Muhammad Zawawi, rescuers faced difficulties in putting out the fire due to strong wind conditions. He said that no oil spill was reported and that they would continue monitoring the situation. The yacht's agent has also been contacted. Muhammad Zawawi said Kedah and Perlis MMEA advised the maritime community to always be alert and be prepared for any untoward incidents at sea to avoid loss of lives and property. Well, it's set to report any crime or other emergencies at sea via the Kedah and Perlis Maritime Operations Centre at 04966 2750 and MERS 999, which operates 24 hours.